So I planned this trip about a month ago. I asked Marissa, I'm like, hey, there's this really nice campground. It's up by a reservoir. It's close to a lot of the mountains that we've been to, but an area that we haven't been to yet and explored. So I booked the campsite, 3 days, check in Thursday, check out Sunday morning, and sure enough, what did we get for weather? Snow. It's May 20th, and forecast is 57 for a high today, 27 for a low tonight. So we are winter camping today here in Deer Creek State Park in Utah. So we're gonna do some fishing. Oh, hey, it's future me. The other thing I didn't realize that I was gonna do at this time when filming this was I'm also gonna give you the top 5 things that we've done to improve our camper for winter camping. First up, we're probably gonna go fishing though. So I set up my rod ahead of time, but it's a perfect rod for if you're an RVer. It compacts down into this little carrying case. A small amount of disassembly each time, but what's cool is once it's assembled, it can still be compressed down to this, so you don't have to break it all the way down into the case. But yeah, this is our whip, tackle box, and I got a net in the truck that I gotta go grab, and then we'll be on our way down the lake. Bye. Love you too. Hope I catch fish. Weather's improving, but it's done this a couple times today already where it goes from snowing to blue skies, back to snowing, sleet, no real rain yet. So winter camping in our rig is something that we've done a lot. It's actually kind of one of the principal reasons why I bought a truck camper. I really wanted to be able to go skiing and snowboarding without having the crazy expenses of lodging. So when we got our camper that first winter, we went skiing a whole bunch and learned the hard way what we needed to change about our rig in order to make it worthy of really cold wintertime camping. So I'm gonna go over some of those items while we're checking out Deer Creek State Park. Yeah. There's gotta be an easier way to get down there. I'm in my Crocs. They're off-road Crocs, but I don't have them in 4-wheel drive right now, so gonna play it safe. Try and find a simple path down to the water. So while I get all this stuff set up here, I'll talk about the #1 biggest improvement that we made to our camper for wintertime camping, and that was a diesel heater. They're pretty common these days. A lot of people are running the Chinese diesel heaters. We have one from, it's called Plenar or Autoterm. I think they're the same company. One is Russian, the other one I believe is made in Canada. It works super well. I believe it was like 900 bucks. And it's crazy how efficient it is on fuel, but also on electricity. Our previous propane furnace used to guzzle propane and electricity, so it kind of was a deterrent. Plus propane isn't always the easiest thing to find. Diesel you can get at most gas stations, so I'll show you. We have a 6.6 gallon outboard motor tank on one side of our camper that holds our diesel fuel for the furnace. I could tap it into the tank of the truck, but I just don't want to drop my tank in order to go into the fuel pump assembly to do that. Also, the original idea was that we would take the camper off and be able to like leave it someplace and have heat without it being connected to the truck. I could put in a 3-way valve. I've thought about that too. But this was the easiest, and it works out super well, especially like 6.6 gallons lasts us way over a week. So yeah, diesel heater, #1 upgrade for wintertime camping. Whether you're in a gas-powered van, if you have a Prius, it'd be a great upgrade if you're trying to be in the winter climates. So I'll be happy to admit I'm pretty new to fishing. I fished like as a kid, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Like the science behind fishing and water temps and what to use, what not to use. So I just bought some stuff off Amazon, and I'm gonna try it out. We got this little guy. He looks yummy. I did do a little bit of reading. I did some reading on Utah Lake specifically, and the type of fish that they have there, which is really not anything good. That's part of why we're up here at Deer Creek this weekend. It's supposed to be a really good place for fishing, which I can tell already by looking at it that it definitely is. There's more than one fishing boat going by despite the improving weather. But I also had been told by a colleague that the fishing up here is really good, and so hopefully we'll catch some fatties. So while I switch out my lure here, the second biggest improvement that we made in terms of our wintertime camping abilities was insulation. Although these camper companies claim that they're 4-season, some certainly better than others, our camper's from 2005, so pretty minimal expectations of it being really well made for winter camping. But the windows in particular are super non-insulated because they're single pane. What we did was we took Reflectix and got felt and spray adhesive and glued them together. So it's like a Reflectix on one side, the felt on the other side. So what's sweet about that is in the summertime you can flip the Reflectix to the outside so that it is showing or reflecting the sun away from the camper. And in the winter time you can really keep that cold out with the felt. Gonna just change spots here. Sent out like 30-40 casts over at that last spot. Nothing special happening. Not that I think I'm doing anything right, but yeah, spot number 2. All right, so while we walk back to get my pole, number 3 biggest improvement we made for our winter time camping. Sounds almost like it could be a contradiction, which I can understand the complaint department coming in here, but lithium batteries. So yes, they're temperature sensitive when it comes to recharge, a little bit on the discharge side. We brought ours inside the camper to keep them warm and toasty, but those 200 amp hours of lithium are awesome. You have less hours of sunlight for recharge on a solar side during winter time, so having really strong batteries goes a long way. I upgraded from our lead acid 3 years ago, and no complaints. Very much worth the investment if you're going to be in the RV world for 10 years plus, which we certainly plan to. Yeah, 3 years down of Battle Born ownership, right? They have a 10-year warranty on them. I push people all the time to upgrade to lithium. I've even been recommending to customers that pertain to my job, I fix boats, telling people, yeah, if you got a fishing boat and you want your trolling motor to go all day long, you should be upgrading to lithium batteries and getting rid of those boring lead acid deep cycles. There's definitely a fair amount of activity in this cove. Just had some people join me down here casting from shore. See them in the background there? I don't know if you can see it out there with the old GoPro lack of zoom, but yeah, must be a good spot. Seems like a logically good spot from a fishing standpoint. The number 4 upgrade for wintertime camping that we made was 12-volt heating pads under each one of our water tanks. So when I was underneath the camper doing those repairs I was mentioning before and re-insulating the underside of the camper, I added 12-volt heating pads, which I have to some switches and fused in all nice and nice. So they're thermostatically controlled on top of being switch controlled. So I just flip them on and leave them on for the most part. In the winter time, they shut themselves off once it reaches 55 degrees down there. So our existing furnace that we had before the diesel heater plumbed hot air down into the basement where all our tanks are stored and kept, water, stuff like that. So the diesel heater does the same. I have it all plumbed nicely down there, but it still gets a little chilly. So we added these 12-volt heating pads, and those made a world of difference. We were in like 9 degrees worth of cold this winter and nothing froze. Our water was perfectly fine. So 12-volt heating pads, you definitely want them. They're easy to find on Amazon. Any of these items that I have added to our camper that are achievable on Amazon, I'll just drop some links below so that everybody can buy the stuff that works well for us. Thanks. That's if you want to buy it, obviously. Just our recommendation of things that works well for us. So I had my first nibble a few minutes ago. Good sign. I think it's time for another lure change out here. Just keep blaming the equipment. That's the right thing to do. All right, let's see what to try next. It's kind of windy out here. I feel like I'm gonna want something with some weight. Otherwise, it's gonna get all blown around. I don't know if these things have much weight. Try a different color one. I don't know. It's more just for entertainment than anything else. If I catch a fish, I'll probably go buy a lottery ticket because the odds would be ever in my favor at that point. Oh, these conditions are definitely getting less than favorable. It's cold. That wind off that lake is cold. Ah. Alright. Gonna fly the drone and probably move around the corner to where there's a little shelter from this wind and might be easier for fishing. that's a trail back up to the campground. Might become my exit strategy at some point there. So in what appears to be pretty typical Utah fashion, weather changes every 5 minutes. When I started out this little fishing journey, it was snowing. And now it's really sunny and I could probably shed a layer. But we're gonna round out our 5 big upgrades to our camper for wintertime camping. And the final upgrade that we've done that I would recommend for anybody looking to do winter camping is some sort of DC to DC charging system for your camper. What we have is, it's basically a timer that connects our alternator to our house batteries, 15 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Comes from Battleborn. It is something that I believe was really around more before the dawn of DC to DC chargers. But if you're camping in the winter, you're not gonna have nearly as much sunlight per day, and the sun just doesn't get overhead enough to do what you need it to do with standard solar panels that are roof mounted. So I would recommend some sort of a DC to DC type charging system so that on your travel days, whether that's every day or every couple days, you're replenishing your batteries with free energy from your existing travels. And ours, I can run our fridge off of it all day long and replenish our batteries, charge while it's basically dark out. So pretty sweet. Gonna do a little more fishing here. That does look like a path back to the campground. And yeah, check out this view. I've definitely accepted that I'm not gonna catch anything today, or at least on this go round. One thing I can definitely catch: other people's garbage. Ooh. Looks like Alcoholics vodka. Yep. Yeah, I say Alcoholics vodka because I love vodka. I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic. You know why? Because I don't drink it out of a plastic bottle. Yes, I have standards. It must be glass. But yeah, picking up other people. All right, so I'm gonna put back this rubber fishy. I think I need to get some spinner baits. This is, I don't know what this is called. I'm gonna guess it's called a spoon. I could be wrong, but it's the only one that I've gotten a nibble on yet, so. Well, that about wraps it up for me on fishing for today. I'm gonna pack it up and start walking back to the camper. So let's take that trail back to the campground, or hopefully to the campground, see where it goes. Oh. Oh. Where we've been living for the last month and a half. It's not that far from here. It's like a half hour. It's probably 1,200 feet less worth of elevation. Maybe I'm just out of shape. But darn, anytime you gotta climb anything, it's tiring. Well, that walkway definitely takes you someplace, but it doesn't take you to where my camper is. I can see my camper. It's way over there. Probably impossible to see with the GoPro, but yeah, I'm at the wrong campground. This one seems like it has way more people, but it was way more expensive because it had full hookups. We don't need that. Ooh. Oh, good news. Good news. Our neighbors left. Their rig was ugly and we didn't like looking at it, but now they're gone. Massive improvements to our spot. All right. Bye-bye.